Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't watched part 1 of this book haul video duo, you might want to do that, although it's just a list of books, really. So you could watch this one and then that one and you wouldn't miss that much. So I'm not going to reiterate everything about what I'm doing because we did that in part 1. But in case you don't really want to go back and watch part 1 right now, I have a bunch of books that I acquired since my last book haul. Some of them are already integrated into my books, but the ones that I hadn't integrated into my books yet, I have waiting to be shown off. And I showed off 3 bags and 2 stacks in the previous video. And this will be the rest of them. And I don't remember if some of them I talked about in a video or not. I don't think I did. I think I was talking to somebody like in real life about them, not on the video. But you might have seen some of them. I don't think I did. Anyway, so I'll start with the ones that I'm not sure of, and then we'll get into the stacks of books. So this is one that I was excited about adopting. This is John Christopher, The Long Winter. John Christopher wrote the Tripod trilogy, which is juvenile YA chapter fiction sci-fi. It was pre-YA, like there was no YA when it came out, but really cool sci-fi. So I haven't read this one by him yet, and I have another book by him, something grass. Yeah, something about grass. So now I have 2 that I haven't read yet. I might focus on sci-fi as my genre of choice for maybe like February or something. And, do a lot of these that I've been collecting. Including this one, Sherlock Holmes in Orbit. One of those collections where authors will write stories for the collection so that it's all on a theme of Sherlock Holmes in space. And I got a few murder mysteries. Judith Van Giesen, The Lies That Bind, to go with my other Western, kind of Native American murder mysteries. So I've got several that are contenders for that subgenre now that I'm almost done with everything from the Hillermans. I've finished the series by Tony Hillerman, and I'm caught up with Anne Hillerman's. So there's a few non-Native American Hillermans. I haven't read all those yet. But I'm ready to start some different authors in that subgenre. This one is short stories and short novels by Dashiell Hammett. The collection is called The Big Knockover. Okay. We have White Lies, Deadly Lies by Peter Tickler. All I know is it's a murder mystery. And then Murder by the Book by D.R. Meredith. A mystery reading group has secrets of its own. Dun, dun, dun. So there's probably others that I haven't shown off, because I could have sworn I got an entire sack of paperbacks with those, and I don't think I did a video for them. But at this point, those are the ones that are stacked up together still. So let me grab a sack and I'll show those. Oh, and I should show you the lobster book. The Secret Life of Lobsters. And I got Midwives by Chris Bogilian. I think that's the only ones in this stack that are brand new to my collection. Yeah. Oh, and then I have some that I've shown them off in a way, but not really like a book haul. I got The Pomeranian Always Barks Twice by Alex Erickson. And The Persian Always Meows Twice. And yes, those two as well. Skeletons by Kate Wilhelm. And Cat Chaser by Elmore Leonard. So yes, I did have a couple more stacked up over here. So I'm going to put these up, and I'm going to grab a sack of books, and then we will continue this lovely parade of books. Okay. More books. I got a copy of Golden Sun so that I can continue the Red Rising series, because I finished Red Rising, I think, for one of the competitive readathons this year. I'm pretty sure it was like either Escape the Readathon or Tar. Yeah, it probably was this year. It might have been last year, though. They all run together after a while. I got a simple Habana Melody by Oscar Huelos. And Beautiful Maria of My Soul, also by Oscar Huelos. He wrote The Mambo Kings Play Songs of Love, which is really, really good. And then I have a sack, big sack over here. I have The Mitford Murders by Jessica Fellows, which is, I think, in the 40s or 50s by her dress. I got Adrian Geffel by David Hajdu. I don't know. Yeah, what? Hi. Yeah. Here's another one by Carol Musk-Dukes, Channeling Mark Twain. I almost didn't get the one from the previous video by this author, except it's the same author as this one, and the title on this one was interesting. So, yeah, we'll see what I think of the author. The Last Town on Earth by Thomas Mullen, which the title suggests sci-fi vibes, but I don't know. I don't know if I have a copy of this one, The Torqued Man by Peter Mann. I may have a copy, or I may have just thought about getting a copy. So it might have been from the spring Bag of Books sale, if I already have one. It seems awfully familiar, but at this point I've worked at the bookstore long enough. They're all familiar. I've probably handled almost all the books in the store at least once. So, yeah, it may or may not be a duplicate. So I have a few Ken Follett books. So I've got Lie Down with Lions. I'm going to stack these over here. Get this one out of the way so I can pull them out better. Here's Blacklist by Jerry Ludwig. Another murder mystery. World Without End by Ken Follett. With the sort of oh, what is that even called? Illuminated manuscripts. With the illumination on the cover. Here's a Martha Grimes. Martha Grimes, the same deal as the other author that I got a bunch of books by, Marin. Where the ones that were older I could put on my crime cart. The ones that are more recent, I could adopt them, or they would go away. So I have some Martha Grimes. So Dust, which is a Richard Jury mystery. This one is A Spy at Twilight by Brian Forbes, sequel to The Endless Game, which I don't have. So I might wait and see if I get The Endless Game first. I'm not in any hurry. I've got a lot of books. I have On Wings of Eagles by Ken Follett. One of my larger book sacks. And when it's full, it is heavy. There we go. The Third Twin by Ken Follett. A nice hardback copy of Pillars of the Earth. I may have a paperback of this one, but paperbacks don't take up as much space at the bookstore. And on people's shelves too. There's been a trend that people just don't want a lot of big hardbacks. So it's no coincidence that I've ended up with a lot of hardbacks, because that's what ends up being left over at a lot of these sales. This next one I got because it's sparkly and it's out of my comfort zone. And in readathons, there's always that prompt. So it's out of my comfort zone and it's shiny. And the fab part is actually raised, so it's a little bumpy texture and shiny silver. So the combination of that and the fact that it's totally not the sort of thing I would expect me to be reading made it worth picking up. And then this is one, again, I'm not sure if it's just familiar because I handle them all the time, or if I actually have a copy of Booth by Karen Joy Fowler. It may be a duplicate. It may really not be. And I won't know until I find the other one if I have it. So that's one sack. Let me grab the next sack. And let's see if this is going to be a 30-minute or 40-minute video. So let me be right back. Okay. Here's the next sack. This sack I was impressed with. Let me show off my sack. Because look at how nice and neat that is. And it zips and it's all like, yeah. I was very impressed. It was just a sack I got at a Goodwill outlet, like bin shopping, to carry stuff that I got while bin shopping. But it's my new favorite, well, one of my favorites for getting books. Because it's exactly the right size and shape for hardbacks. So here's another one. I think it's just familiar because I've handled copies of it so much. I'm pretty sure I don't have it, although I do have other books that are the same coloration, with the blue on top and the green on bottom. This is The Healing by Jonathan O'Dowell. It's kind of cool how they did the matte plant and the shiny girl. Alright. Have Chance by Kem Nunn. It's a different name. This one's a thriller. And let's see, Fresh Kills, an Artie Cohen mystery by Reggie Nadelson. While England Sleeps by David Levitt, with the underground symbol. So maybe a thriller murder mystery set in the underground? Maybe. When I visited London, way back when, I was in England for 3 whole weeks. I really enjoyed the London Underground. So, yeah. I definitely would not mind if it's a thriller set in the underground. Just something about the network of spaces that's underneath the surface people are walking on. I love that idea. I got 2 books by William McCloskey. So I don't have Highliners, which is what this one's a sequel to. This is Breakers. And this one is Raiders. So I might wait until I get the first one, because I think it's a trilogy. Although they also mention their father's work. So this might be book 4. With Highliners this first, then Breakers, then their father's work, and then Raiders. These are all set around commercial fisheries in Alaska. And as much as I am concerned about overfishing and the collapse of the fisheries, it still is an interesting social dynamic and a different lifestyle from what I normally am familiar with. Let's see, Gale Force by Owen Laukanen, which is blurbed by Clive Cussler. That's always a good sign. Let's see. Ziff, A Life. I probably got this one just because the title starts with Z. Because, of course. Alan Lychuk, I think. Lelchuk, sure. Let's see. All the blurbs in the back try really hard not to use his name. Okay. Yeah. It starts with Z. Ziff. There aren't very many books like that. I don't know what it's about. I think it's a crime novel of some sort. But it may not be. We'll find out. Meritocracy, a love story by Jeffrey Lewis, and it's very thin. So I don't know much about it, but it's thin enough I might as well just see if it's any good. I was trying to remember what I've read by Ye-Yun Lee. I've read something or I have something that I intend to read. I don't remember. By Ye-Yun Lee. I will figure it out as soon as I'm not trying. But this is 1,000 Years of Good Prayers it is a short story collection. My guess is I have an arc, but I'm not sure. Alright. The New Ways by Kevin Nguyen. And I don't think I have a copy of this one. Luster by Raven Leilani. But I might. It's shiny. It's very shiny, but it's not gold. I have other ones that are gold and shiny. This one, the spine is kind of an ombre gold and red, but it's not gold on the front. So I don't think I have a copy, but there's possibly as many as 5 duplicates in this haul. But I figured if I ended up with a duplicate, I could bring it back. But I'd rather grab it and actually have a copy than pass it up and find out that I didn't. So that was my calculus on that one. So let me put these up, and then I will grab the last sack. Okay, I'm back. So the top of this one is actually the last book I got as a 6-hour. So a book that I got for working for 6 hours at the bookstore. This one I got because of Nicole at Dusty Book Sniffers. It's going to be fun. It is called Professor Chandra Follows His Bliss by that guy. Rajiv Balasubramanyam. So I would say Balasubramanyam. I'm betting that that's how it's parsed. Balasubramanyam. But I will admit that's a long one. Yeah. It also means I need to read this one before Nicole gets a chance to watch this video. No, I wouldn't be that cruel. There's a running joke about me picking hard to pronounce author names. And I saw this one and I just had to get it. It may be really good, too. It's supposed to be funny. It's blurbed by Helen Simonson, who wrote Major Pettigrew's Last Stand, which I've heard good things about. I think I own it. I'm pretty sure I haven't read it yet. Anyway, I like the cover on this one. It's pretty. This is The Year's Midnight by Ed O'Connor. It is a psychological thriller. I have Comrade KCBA by Robert Littell. And this one is compared to Le Carré. So that's promising. I have an Ann Packer, Songs Without Words. I think I have more of hers. Maybe The Dive from Clausen's Pier. I probably have that one. I know I have some other Ann Packer from the Bag of Books sale. Here's another Margaret Maron. This is the author I was trying to remember. That I showed more of in the first part of this duology of video-ness. And this one is Storm Track. I have Colleen McCulloch, The Prodigal Son. This one is 1960s. This is another one that looks awfully familiar, but I think it's just because I've handled it at the store before. The Gentle Axe by R.N. Morris. And I think this one's familiar because I was running the M's for a while at the bookstore. And so I shelved this one repeatedly. All of these with the M last names, I've shelved them before. So if they seem familiar, that may be why, and it may have nothing to do with my already having a copy. Here's Traveler's Rest by Keith Lee Morris. And note again the institutional green and the red. This one's a different sort of cover. It's like a manor house that the roof has come off, and so there's snow in the room on all the nice furniture. But it's rather stark. Again, it has that, East German vibe for me. I don't know if it has anything to do with East Germany, but it's those colors and the bleakness. I have Let It Burn by Steve Hamilton. I got several Steve Hamiltons, so I might have to track down book 1 in the Alex McKnight series. Let's see if it's got the list in it. Okay, so Die a Stranger is the top of their list. And then Misery Bay, The Lock Artist, and Night Work. This one's pretty far down on the list. So I might gather in some more Steve Hamilton books and read those in order. Because it's been a while since I did a binge of a major crime series like that. Here's another Martha Grimes. This one is The Black Cat. And Martha Grimes, Dakota. So North or South Dakota, I'm guessing? Or is it the person? North Dakota. Okay. So if anybody's doing a Reading the States reading project, this one would be a fun one to know about for North Dakota. Because it's set in Idaho, Montana, and North Dakota. And Steve Hamilton, The Lock Artist, which I think is the one right before Let It Burn on their list. Let's see. Then we have North of Nowhere by Hamilton. So it's a long series. I'm nowhere near having all of them. But that may be like next year's binge series reading. I got Rituals of the Season by Margaret Maron. I'm a little concerned about the Christmassiness of the cover. But it is a murder mystery. So, probably okay. I'm not really a Christmas fan. I like the White Elephant Parties, but not really a festive cheer sort of person. Port Mungo by Patrick McGrath. I've been fascinated by this one just because the vibes are interesting. I don't know if I'm going to love the story. We'll find out. But I've been shelving this book enough that I want to know what it's like because I'm curious. And 3 more books. Wow. I have Slow Dollar by Margaret Maron. Three-Day Town, also by Margaret Maron. And One True Sentence by Craig McDonald. Kind of a fun cover. And that's actually all that's in this sack. So there are other books I've acquired that managed to escape being in a book haul. I have another book by Dino Mengestu that I could have sworn it was around here somewhere. Like All Our Names or something like that. One of the ones that he's known for. Because I have like a memoir by Dino Mengestu that I picked up just because it was available free on the free cart. And I'd seen his name on a list. Anyway, so I've got a novel that he's known for now. I have a few other things that I picked up, but that's the majority. Yeah, half an hour. There will be more. You might have noticed that there's a trend in the letters. There were H's, F's and H's and G's. So the sections that have been gone through to pull all the books that have been in the store for too long go through N and a little bit of O. So the rest of the alphabet hasn't been done yet. And will be probably in the next week or so. So there may be another book haul. Yeah. So keep an eye out for that. I will wait until tomorrow to do a wrap up because I'm probably not coherent. We'll see. I might do it tonight after all if I feel awake enough. But it won't be very long if it's tonight. Which is probably alright because you guys have 70 some minutes of book haul to watch. Counting this video and the one that goes with. So I'll do a wrap up and then I'm going to be doing a series of crime series videos, like one video on each crime series. Mostly ones where I have the most recent book as an arc or where I've been binge reading it or something like that. So just highlighting some of the great crime series that I'm aware of and that are on my radar at the moment. So that's coming up. I will probably do the first video on that series sometime in the next few days. And then there will be one theoretically every week. We'll see. You know how I am with every weakness. Yeah. And we've got a lot of other things going on, so we'll see how that goes. But at least one will be coming out, probably looking at the #1 Ladies Detective Agency series. At least that's the plan. So stay tuned for all that. And of course, you'll see me in the chats in all the NetGalley November sprints. Maybe not on screen very much until I convince my computer to get along with StreamYard again. At the moment, every time I load StreamYard, it crashes itself. Not the computer, just StreamYard. But it completely crashes. And I don't have to have made it actually into the live. It's just something about StreamYard is just not compatible right now. So at the moment, I'm not on screen with everybody else, but I'm hoping to figure out what's going wrong and be able to be on screen again. There's buddy reads I want to do where I want to be on screen. So if you missed it, I was supposed to have been on screen with Nicole for a buddy read. And yeah, second time in about a week. I've had major issues with StreamYard not getting along with my computer. So I know they did some updates. I know StreamYard's been having issues. or at least everybody's been having issues with StreamYard. So it may not be me, but it's very frustrating. So anyway, I'm going to sign off so you guys can go watch some more BookTube or read your arcs if you're doing NetGalley in November. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys!